Welcome back, everyone, to Drunk Bible Study Bonus Edition, where we are here to bring you all of the updates and information on Ezekiel. Well, we still have him in our grasp. Time is waning.
Away.
He's slipping as we speak. But right now, we are in the thick of it. Today, we're going to be talking about brass men, temples, and Ezekiel for kids? I don't know. Who said that was a good idea? We'll see. We'll see if it is or not. But first, let's start off with this humble C-3PO figure, this brass man. So I looked up in BibleHub.com, which, their translations and commentary on various things is always like a fun place to go. And I like what Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges said about this man. It says, the man is not to be identified with Jehovah himself, who brought the prophet to him. It is scarcely necessary to inquire who the man is. He's a creation of the prophet's own mind, a living symbol of the revelation of God. So the revelation personified as the attributes of Jehovah himself. Hence, the man is like bright brass and speaks with authority. That's an interesting interpretation.
So they're like, he was tripping.
Who cares?
Don't even worry about it so much.
Yeah.
Figment of his imagination. Not relevant.
Yes. But of course, other people, say it was Jesus and say that it...
What? Why?
Well, because... Let's see.
Because Jesus was made of brass, right? Okay.
I think just that he looked like Jesus, or the fact that he was this like beautiful shining figure means that he's Jesus-like. Yeah.
Because literally, the Christian thing of...
He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he is made of all bronze, and he is measuring stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were tripping.
I love that song.
Yeah. That classic song.
Yeah, and also that he's, that it's linked to Revelation somehow, I guess, because they...
because Ezekiel.
Yeah, so they link it to Revelation. But my favorite thing that I found was from Shmoop.com.
I've been on Shmoop.
Yeah.
We've talked about Shmoop.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're good times.
We've been there before.
It's really funny. It's like, okay... Ezekiel describes how he's beamed up to the temple site by God and encounters this weird bronze guy with a measuring string who guides him around, giving really, really detailed descriptions of everything that needs to be measured. And he's like, these directions are obviously really important to Ezekiel and the other Judeans who will eventually come out of exile. The temple's the only place where God can be worshipped perfectly, so the directions have to be followed down to the last cubit and calf. God's very particular about these things. The bronze guy with the measuring cord is evidently some sort of divine angelic architect figure, a messenger of God sent to communicate the highly specific way God wants to be worshipped and the dangers of spending too much time in the tanning bed.
Okay. They're cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
cute.
fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's very cute and fun.
They got some humor. That's cute.
Yeah. So that was a good time. So basically, I don't know. He's a figment of Ezekiel's imagination, perhaps. Or he's, essentially a version of God. I read something that said that, he is God in a vision of a man that Ezekiel sees. And this is how Ezekiel interprets him this time, is that he's a bronze boy, which is kind of fun, too.
Okay, so this is an interpretation that it is God.
Yeah, someone said that too. So that's interesting. There's like 3 kind of different options. There's never like a definitive thing, I feel.
Yeah.
It's never definitive.
That's fine. That's to be expected, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For something written, almost 3,000 years ago.
Totally. All right. Well, that's what I got.
Wow.
Okay, wow. So speaking of this man and how it mentioned, these measurements and all these details were really important to Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though. Maybe they were important to him, and somehow they got written down, and everyone's like, yeah, this goes in the Bible, and this goes, we love this. But they never built it.
Huh?
This never happened. Unlike with the Ark of the Covenant, where it's like, yeah, then they went and they did the thing. They built the thing according to the instructions.
Right. But this was all just conceptual and blueprints.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
after this, we mentioned last week on the bonus where shortly after this is when we get into the Second Temple period, when they do build a new temple once they've come back.
Yeah.
Like they rebuild Solomon's temple or whatever. And according to the descriptions of that, it does not match these designs.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Ezekiel got this vision, told everyone about it, and they're like, yeah, so what if we just didn't, though? What if we didn't do that? So that's interesting piece number one. And then, of course, anytime there's something that gets, prophesied or instructed and then it doesn't happen, people come up with theories about it. So kind of the hot theory for Christians, at least, is that this is the temple that's going to happen in Revelation.
Okay, there's the Revelation.
That this is going to
tie.
be the fourth temple.
The fourth temple.
That this will be the fourth temple. Yeah. So the first one.
Have there been three? Okay, yeah, please.
So the first one was Solomon's temple.
Okay.
It got destroyed. And then we have the second temple of Second Temple period fame, which is going to be built not too long from now chronologically, or, from Ezekiel's time, like 500-ish BCE.
Okay.
And then it gets destroyed, which is the end of the Second Temple period. And then in Revelation, spoilers a little bit, there is another temple that then gets destroyed by the Antichrist. And then a fourth temple is made. And so the prediction is that this may be the design for that fourth one to come.
Okay, and what a design. What a design.
Well, what a design.
Were you able to compare your drawings with other artists' renditions?
Now, here's the thing I learned from looking up other people's drawings. And that's that other people are architects. Also, other people spent a lot more time on theirs.
Well, yes. I think that's a given.
So, yeah. Okay. There are parts of my drawing that actually, looking at other people's, I'm like, I'm not far off. I'm actually pretty impressed.
Oh, good.
And there's other parts such as sort of the spacing between items that I did not do so good on.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were just drawing in the moment. We can give you some.
Yeah, you were freehanding it. Come on.
Yeah.
You didn't have any drafting software pulled up.
No.
No. Wrote this into
That's true.
AutoCAD.
Can you imagine?
I think AutoCAD would crash.
Can you imagine if I was like, hang on, and we had
Excuse
this like,
me, let me do this.
we had this like 4-hour long episode of me entering in all the dimensions
Oh my
into
gosh.
some kind of CAD program. But then I could 3D print it, which would be fun.
Cool.
But okay, so in looking into this, I found, various drawings. And if you just, Google it, look it up, like Ezekiel's temple, you'll find a lot of these. Some are like floor plans, which is what I was drawing, was kind of like a top-down map view. Others are like, side-on views of like, this is what I think the like carvings of palm trees would look like in the gate, stuff like that, to kind of show the relative heights of things, since those were also described.
Okay.
But what I found that was the most wonderful is from this site called bibliaprints.com. And I don't often do this, but I do need to give a little bit of a shout out to this site. So it's super simple. This site sells 3 posters.
Okay.
That's it. They're posters of the Bible. One is every verse in the Bible printed in different colors, so it
Whoa.
looks like sort of a rainbow
I just pulled it
tapestry.
up.
Wow.
And like,
Wait, every verse?
super,
It's got to be gigantic.
super duper, yeah. So like super duper tiny print on this. It costs $100 for a print.
Gosh.
Because it has to be like really high quality printing to be able to read those. But you can magnify it and see every single word. They have one that's the Tetragrammaton, which is
The
the
Necronomicon?
the first 5 books.
A nomenon?
Not the Necronomicon. The Tetragrammaton, which is the Tetragrammaton. So the Tetragrammaton is Yahweh's name, is Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, is the 4 letters, tetra, 4 words, gram, writing, whatever. Anyway, it's like all the words in the Bible with all of the times that Yahweh's name appears in red. So it's like kind of image like that.
I mean, looking at these,
Anyway.
the concept is cool. They
Yeah.
look ugly, though.
Really?
I would.
I kind of like the rainbow one.
Ooh,
So it's just
that was the worst one, Jace.
Okay.
really.
It's
Mm.
just.
Okay. Well,
It just looks like
I've already
Skittles
ordered 3.
puke.
So.
Oh no.
I'm giving them
No,
as
okay,
your
I haven't.
birthday gifts.
So yeah, I've gotten one for each of you for your birthdays. They're $100 each. But then also randomly on this site are these free Bible animations.
Okay.
And so not only is there a 6-minute long 3D rendering of traveling through Ezekiel's temple from this chapter that we just read, going through the doors, it shows you all the diagrams and lists the measurements as you go and quotes the verses. It's actually really cool. But it also has a video for chapter 41, which is more instructions about the temple, and another video for chapters 42 and 43, which are also more instructions about this temple. So pretty wonderful. It's a preview that next week is going to be all temple all the time.
Gosh.
So my drawing is going to grow.
Goodness gracious.
Okay.
But it's actually a really cool video, kind of showing this person's interpretation. And I could not find any information about this person.
Huh. Mystery.
I can't find any about me page. Couldn't find anything about who this person is, why they did this. But they did some really cool animations. They've also got some animations from Revelation, which you can't watch because that's spoilers.
Wow.
It's got animations of Ezekiel's vision at the beginning of Ezekiel, which I haven't watched yet.
Well, most importantly, Jace, are you going to post a little side-by-side comparison of your drawing with this person's rendering?
Yeah.
In the group?
Yeah. I mean,
Let's hope you do.
I think probably what would be better to compare mine to is if you go to the Wikipedia page for Ezekiel's temple, for Ezekiel 40, for chapter 40, there's a drawing that's by Charles Chippies, which is my favorite name
Ever?
of a person
Of
ever,
all time.
I think. I think it's actually Charles Chippier or something like that. I'm pretty sure he was French. But he did artistic renderings of a lot of historic monuments and buildings to try to recreate what they would have looked like at the time. But he also did a floor plan of Ezekiel's temple. And I think his is not too far off from mine. I'll post the comparison in the Facebook group so you can decide for yourself.
Amazing.
Well, I'm really glad that you put in that effort at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's appreciated.
So I wanted to know, what's Ezekiel but kids edition? What's Ezekiel Jr.?
Ezekiel Jr. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to know that too.
How they take famous Broadway productions and
Mm-hmm.
take them, turn them into something that a children's theater group can do. They make them one act and then it's Into the Woods Junior.
Yeah. Dedeker and I went and saw Guys and Dolls Jr.
Right. At my sister's school.
What is that like?
It was adorable. It was a bunch of tiny little kids wearing suits and singing songs. It was.
But by tiny little kids, he means high school kids.
Yeah.
These were not high schoolers.
They were high schoolers. It was out of high school.
No, those were middle schoolers.
It was
middle schoolers.
It was Jace. It was out of high school.
No, it was in the auditorium, but they were.
It was out of high school.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
You're kidding me? They were infants.
It's been a long time since you've been in high school. Yes, high schoolers are infants.
Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. This is the second production of Guys and Dolls Jr. that I've seen.
Oh my God, Jace.
Okay. You're getting them mixed up.
At my own high school.
Oh, yeah.
One of the neighboring middle schools or elementary schools did Guys and Dolls Jr. in our theater. And I did go see that, and it was adorable. They were both adorable in different ways. But yes, I did get those confused. I'm so sorry.
Amazing.
Anyway, Ezekiel Jr. the musical.
Jr.
Please tell us about
So
it.
I did just Google Ezekiel for kids just to see what came up. And sure enough, there's a lot of resources, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Sunday school resources. The first thing I found was this really cool PDF of maybe a slideshow of a bunch of art that looks like it was done in MS Paint and text on slides that are Comic Sans.
I love that.
And it says it was made in 2021. So that's that. My favorite part of it, and I'll post this in the group, that when they're explaining the part where Ezekiel had to lay on his left side forever.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
That he's there laying on his side and it looks like he's on a shag carpet, perhaps a yellow shag carpet.
He's like, oh, hello.
Yeah, it's very much
Hello,
that.
God.
Maybe they were trying to make it into some dry grass or something, but it just reads as shag carpet. So that's pretty fun. I found a woman's website where it seems like maybe she's both a Sunday school teacher and hold homeschooling teacher.
A woman's website. I thought it was like, this is a women's website. Like, this is a website for
No,
women. I was like,
the
what are you
website
talking
that belongs
about?
to a woman.
A woman's website.
Okay, cool.
I think she's
cool.
a Sunday school teacher and a homeschool teacher, and she
Mhm.
posted, a PDF of her resources that she uses for teaching little kiddos about Ezekiel. And then
Mhm.
at the end, she has some questions, and she's categorized the questions between younger kids, middle kids, and older guys.
Okay.
And
Older
it's
guys.
literally what it says.
Okay.
And what I just thought was funny was under younger kids, there's not even any questions. She just says, this story's a little hard for young kids and it can be pretty scary. So I would mainly focus on talking through the images of God and who God is.
Got
Like,
it.
sheesh.
Wow.
Now, then I went down the rabbit hole of kids' Christian content on YouTube, which is, boy, oh boy, what a landscape
fun
it is.
time.
It's a real
Yeah.
fun time. Very low budge, extremely
Okay.
low
Mm,
budge
of course.
stuff. It was a real slog going through the low budge. There was definitely a recurring theme in the sense that the dry bone story seems to be the most accessible story to tell children.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, it's a fun story.
Everything else, people are like, I don't know, so a lot of content did circle around the dry bone story. There was a version that was done with stop motion Legos. That was actually pretty cute.
Okay. That sounds
Amazing.
great.
There was a version that I watched of a woman like in a church service presenting to little kids. And she had kind of this fun like pop-up book diorama sort of thing that she used. And at the end, she was like, and the moral of the story is that, just like these dry bones, like if your life is feeling like things are kind of falling apart and not great, God's going to come along and put them back together. And it says that in the Bible.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, I guess that's kind of the message of
kind of
that.
the
It's
message
kind
here.
of,
Yeah,
kind of. It's
That's,
like,
that's a nice
that's
way of
fair.
interpreting it for the kiddos.
If you combine that with then also telling the kid, but the reason that things suck right now is your fault.
Yeah.
Then that's more
Yeah.
accurate with Ezekiel's message.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the actual theme here. Now, there is one video that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to post it in
Okay.
our Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group as well. Now, this is a video that does not have a lot of views, like a little bit over 1,000 views, and posted by National Park Church.
It only has 8 likes.
Yeah, and this one actually...
9.
Good job.
Well done.
This video was on the upper end of the production value that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And what stood out is that Ezekiel's played by like a paper bag puppet,
But it's all 3D rendered.
but it's 3D rendered.
But he's also
But-
a paper bag.
He's a paper bag puppet. So let's just watch a little snippet of this.
Okay, great.
Suddenly
Here
there
we
was a
go.
noise, a rattling sound. The bones were coming together, bones to bones, tendons to bones, flesh over bones, and skin over flesh. There was no breath
Whoa.
in the bones.
Whoa.
God said,
Wait, they're paper bags?
Oh, sorry. I have to pause for a moment.
Yes.
This is
They're all paper bags.
Yeah, so that's the funny
Yeah.
part. There's bones. They all come magically sliding together and they stand up. And then then he put flesh on them, but the flesh is actually paper bags.
And he puts paper bags over them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
And it's just an army of paper bag puppets.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the puppet, like the paper bag puppet of Ezekiel, is just screaming the
Yes.
whole time.
I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Okay, I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah, keep on.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
playing.
speak to the breath for me. Say, this is what God says. Breath, come into these bones so that they may live. Ezekiel did what God said.
A cool shockwave.
Breath entered the bones. They came to life, and a vast army stood before Ezekiel. God said to Ezekiel, these bones are like my people of Israel. I want you to speak to them for me. God told Ezekiel to say, this is what God says.
And that's it.
Wow.
Like,
okay,
and the funny
okay.
part is when the breath goes into them, they're still paper bags, but now they have lips. That's how you know they're alive.
That's
the
amazing.
difference.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the
Okay,
difference.
the lips. Cool.
So-
Wow. Wow.
That was actually pretty great.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
be sure to check out the Facebook group for that.
Surprisingly good production quality.
Right?
I will say,
Compared to all the other
actually.
stuff that I slogged through, pretty good.
Jeez.
I like that there were some artistic choices that were made of making them paper bags so that it's less scary for the kids. Like that.
Yes. Jeez,
Oh,
that's
boy.
a lot. That's amazing. Wow.
So
Wow.
one last thing I wanted to sort of pat ourselves on the back here about Ezekiel 40, the last chapter that we read. It's just that in my research, I did find that there was this, what is he? Medieval Jewish philosopher named Maimonides. Anyway, I'm not sure how you say that. But he referred to the chapters of Ezekiel that we read 40, and then also the chapters we'll be reading next time, as being complex for the common reader and even for the seasoned scholar.
Huh, I see.
So Maimonides is on our side. He's like, you're doing great work. Keep up the good work.
Why, thank you.
I'm assuming that's what he's saying. He didn't say that part to me specifically, but you know.
But maybe we can
We'll see.
believe that from beyond the grave, that's what he's hoping.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's lovely. Wow. Well, thank you so much, everyone. As always, this is a fun time researching Ezekiel and researching all of the stuff that we have no idea what is being talked about in this crazy book, the Bible. And we will see you next week for more of that. Can't wait. Bye.